how to invoke server-side controller, and also we have seen the concept of how to use the Lightning data services. Now we want to take the combination of both the things. Now I want to take a Lightning data services along with the Apex class, and I want to use them in the Lightning. So how do you take server-side controller and Lightning data services together into one functionality? How to use both of them together in a single functionality? That's what we are going to discuss for the now. We have seen invoking the server-side controller separately. We have seen invoking the Lightning data services separately. Now, how to take the combination of these two and how to create a component? That's what we are going to discuss for the day. So let us go with this. So let us take the first one. So defining an Apex class which can be used in the Lightning. Defining an Apex class which can be used in the Lightning. So how you define the Apex class? What are the rules we have to obey? What are the rules we have to obey? If you want to invoke an Apex class within the Lightning, the Apex class has to obey certain rules. What are the rules? Set of rules?
Or enabled global.
Case data, or else I can say account data. We need to give at the rate of enabled, public, static, list of, account, get account. Now I want to give a parameter. What is the parameter? String I want to give the parameter string ACC industry. So can I pass the parameter in the list? Can I pass the parameters? Yes, we can pass the parameter. There is no issue, right? Now, based on the parameter, I want to write a SQL query and I want to return the result. So here I am taking list of account is equal to name. Account where just equal to I'll make it a simple one otherwise. Okay. Industry equal to so I have created a basic Apex class which will fetch the list of account records based on the industry what you have given. Okay. Now I want to create a controller. I want to create a component with a controller. Lightning component. Now you are supposed to go with controller account underscore data. Right. So here first let us see how you are invoking an Apex class within the component. Then we will see how to pass the record data. So if you want to invoke an Apex class, I'm giving Jura attribute name equal to my accounts, type equal to, right. I'm calling initialization handler name equal to init, value equal to, then action equal to, am I right? Okay. Now let us give a controller. When you give a controller, what is the action we have defined? Then you are supposed to call a method from this class. What is the method? Get accounts. How do you call it? Where action equal to component dot get c dot. Then if you want to invoke this method, you are supposed to pass a parameter because the method is expecting a parameter. So what is the parameter? ACC industry. So how do you set it? Action dot set params the parameter should be set like a key value pair where I was giving ACC industry. I gave a fixed value. Then you are supposed to add an action to the queue. Action dot a dot enqueue action. Now you are supposed to create a callback. How do you create a callback? Action dot set callback. Set callback. This comma function. Am I right? So what you are trying to do? We are trying to get the data. So whatever the data we are getting, let us fetch it. So we are supposed to get the data. So what is the data we are fetching? First, where state equal to dot if state success console dot log right. Then whatever the value we are getting, we are supposed to set that value to this my accounts. So component dot set dot console dot log this is what is the component. Boss, this component I have not implemented any interfaces. If you implemented this interface, if you have implemented this interfaces like a flexi page, okay, flexi page, okay, then force has record ID available for record home page. If I implement those, I can add this component to this thing. So first I will demonstrate this whether the component is running successfully or not. If this component is running successfully, then I will try to enhance it. So here, how are you invoking? C dot First, let us understand whether things are running successfully or not. Have a preview of it. What was the get return value, get callback, get return value, response dot get return value. Go back to the component, response dot get why the bug is given here, response dot get return or capital value. Here the mistake is value. Here I am not given this format. Okay, go back. Okay. Inspect the element and see whether we received records. So, are the records are coming? Yes. So, request is going to the server, response is coming back. So, request is going to the server and we are getting the response. Now, the question here is, request is going to the server and we are getting the response. But the question here is, whatever the parameter you have given a static parameter. I don't want to take a static parameter, I want to take a dynamic parameter. I have given a static parameter called energy. I don't want to take a static parameter. I want to take a dynamic parameter. So whichever the parameter you are passing here as a dynamic, I need to take. Now, from where you want to take the dynamic parameter? The record whose ID is passed, that record industry value should be passed. I don't want to enter whichever the record ID I am passing on the URL, only that record ID should be passed. Then how it is possible? First, if you want to take that, we are supposed to implement two interfaces. What are the two interfaces? Flexi page available for the home page as recorded. These two interfaces has to be implemented. So, controller and it is also implementing two interfaces. Only when I give this, two interfaces, then only I will be able to use this component within the record home page. If I don't implement this, I cannot add this component within the record home page. What is the purpose of second one? Flexi page available for home page. This component I can use in the home page like what we have done in the last 3 classes. Then what is the purpose of hash record ID? It ensures that your URL has a ID. If the ID is there, then only I can capture the record. Okay. Then you have implemented this. After implementing this, then I was supposed to create a record. Force record data, then URA ID, then we had layout type, full record ID, then we had target fields, then record updated equal to, in the last session we have done this, when record is updated event will be fired, right? Record updated equal to invoke. When the record is updated, invoke this functionality. When the record is updated, invoke this functionality. So whenever the record is loaded or created or updated, this action will be called. This is what we have seen in the last class, right? Handling the event, load, changed, deleted, right? We invoked it. Now I will not be requiring this URA handler anymore. So only to display this I have given. Now if I want to hold this data, what I require? I need attributes. How you define the attributes? URA attribute name equal to simple type equal to URA attribute name equal to ACC type equal to okay. Till today, we are always displaying using the target fields only, right? Now, okay, today for a change, we'll try to use target record. Okay, for a change, we'll use a target record. Till yesterday's session, we are using always target field, simple record dot name of the. Okay. Now, if I want to use a target field, I used to give. How we used to give? If it's a target field, we used to give v dot simple record. V dot simple record we used to give. Simple record dot name. If you want to use a target record, then we are going to use v dot acc dot fields dot. What is the name of the field? Name dot. If you want to print the value using target record, fields dot phone dot. In the previous example, you have used this. Now we are trying to use this. Okay, fine. Now, chalo, we have created this. Things are working fine. Now, whichever the record ID you are passing, whichever the record ID we are passing, that record data need to be used. Whichever the record ID I am passing, that record data need to be passed. So, look at this. First of all, look at this. Lighting design system. I want to display group of records. Do you have any predefined component which can display a group of records? So we had a checkboxes, combo box, data table. Let us see this. In the data table, any SVGs they have used? Good. Right. What was this? What was this? We already selected data table structure is there, which is selected. Now I'm going to paste it. First, let me take some HTML beautifier. Okay. So in this, last time also you have seen what they have seen. They are given multiple rows, which you have simplified to one row. Okay. Now we are applying iteration. We are applying iteration. How do you apply iteration? What are the fields we have created here? Name, phone, rating, ownership, ID, name, phone, rating, ownership. Okay. So Let me display the same data. So what I am taking here, account name, phone, or industry. Did I give industry there? Industry. These are headings. Industry, phone, name, industry, phone, rating. Chalo. That's sufficient for me. Now here, station items equal to, what is items equal to? Items equal to my accounts. Is a loop. Number of rows will be printed. So what I'm going to give here, account name, I don't need this stuff actually. Okay. So I had account name, then I had a phone, what is the value we had? B dot, A dot, then we had industry, phone, okay, next what is left out? Rating is right. Okay. So this is what we have made. Now for understanding purpose, initially I'll remove this. I'll see that data is coming or not. Now we are able to get the data. Now only the change what I need to make is, look at the change what I need to make. Here we are making a static query. We are passing a static value. What is the value? Energy. Instead of energy, whatever the record, whichever the record ID was there, that record's industry value I want to pass. Now this component is going to be added to some record home page. This component I am going to add it to the home page of some record. Now whichever the record ID was there in the URL, that record industry value I want to pass. So there are two ways. I can give it in the form of component dot get v dot, what is the way, what is the name of the field? Simple record. I can give simple record dot, this is one of the way. The other way is, I told every time we are using only target field, this time we'll use target record. So v dot acc dot fields dot which field? Industry dot. If you are referring to the data using a target record, so v dot name of the attribute dot fields dot name of the field dot value. Record dot fields dot name of the field dot value. So whichever the record we are taking here, that record is getting passed here as a parameter. I hope you are good with this, right? Record data is the record whose ID is passed, that record we are fetching. That record industry value I am passing to the Apex class. Based on that, it is writing a query, getting the data. Now, using a record data, we are passing the value of a record. Using that value, we are writing a SQL query in the Apex class, getting the result which I was trying to display in the. I hope you are good with this. Okay. Now go back to the component. So how will you display this? Go to this lightning. So I want to go with account. Edit page. Let all the components be loaded successfully. So this also we only added the component. What is the component we created? My record. No. What is the current component what we created? Let me check the name of the component.
Account data example.
Okay. Account data example.
Example 1.
Account data example. Take the component and save it. Yeah. Go back to this. Now what is the record we are getting? Some record. We can reduce this. We can reduce this component width length. We can reduce it. So let me go to the edit page. It's too lengthy to display. So I'll try to do one thing. Try to remove two of the columns. Because I added as a sidebar component. So go back to the home page again. Edit page. Now, so what is the value of industry? Go to the detail page. What is the value of industry? With this industry, only one record was there. The industry only one record was there. Why we are getting phone number there? Industry. So go back to the page, reload the page. How many records are there? Only one record is there, not reloaded. Not received the value yet. No issue. Let me modify the record. Let me change the value and show. What is the industry? I am modifying the industry as, I guess on energy we have 3 records, right? United Oil and Gas Corporation records will be there. So how many records came here? So what was this? What was this? When I change the industry, all the records based on that industry we are fixing here. Somehow the value is not getting displayed, we need to fix it up. Okay. What was this? The list of records whose industry is energy. Those list of records are coming here. I hope you are clear with this. What I have done now, the record on which I added this component. Okay, that record will be passed as a record data. Then from the record data, industry value I am passing as a parameter to the Apex class. Now that Apex class is writing a SQL query, getting the data, giving back the data to the page, which I am trying to display on the page. Have you followed? Have you followed? Have you followed? Okay. The same example I want to create on the account and case. So here the record which is passed as a record data, if I pass that ID of the record, it has to fetch all the cases related to that account and display. So getting the cases of this account and displaying in the lightning component. Getting the cases of the record. Which record? The account record on which I am adding. The account record which I am adding, I am getting the cases. Now if you want to say the account whose industry is there, the record whose industry value is there, based on that industry, get the corresponding contacts. Whichever the account I have selected, the record will have industry. Okay, get me all the accounts of those industry. Then get the contacts of all those accounts. Then display. Now what I am doing, whichever the record I am passing, that accounts industry. Based on that industry, get me the remaining accounts. Based on the remaining accounts, get me all the cases. You get my point? Now, whichever the account you have given, that account has an industry. Based on the industry, get me remaining accounts. Remaining account which have the same industry. Once you got the remaining account which has the same industry like this, then get the cases of the account. Get the cases of the account and display it here. Get the cases of the account and display it here. Can we do it? Right? So logic is not done in the component. Logic is done in while Apex class. Now logic is not in the component. Logic is in the Apex class. Once you got the list of accounts, it's your choice whatever you want to do. It's your choice whatever you want to do. Have you got my point? Clear for everyone? So it is a combination of record data and so on. Now tell me one use case where we can use this concept. In the account, I want to create a custom page. In the custom page, account detail page. In the account detail page, I want to have 3 components. One component will display a list of opportunities. One component will display a list of contacts, list of cases. Now, I want to create my own lightning page, where in the lightning page I need to get like this. This will display list of, this will display account data, name, this is how we got it. Right. At the bottom, I need to get one component. This will show list of contacts, list of opportunities, list of cases. This is how I want to build a lightning page. This is how I want to build a lightning page. Now, how will you build this? Right. Now, the record which I loaded, the account record which I loaded, if you pass that account ID, I can get a list of contacts. Then a list of contacts are displayed here. Then based on I am creating one more component which will fetch a list of right. This is one of the use case where we are going with a combination. Previously we have done the controller separately. We just made our own application. Now we on the detailed page of a record, corresponding child record should be displayed as per our choice. Already standard page was there, it is displaying some data. Now I want to display my data according to my choice based on your requirement. So whichever the home page of the record is there, based on that record, fetch the corresponding child records and display in the way you want. So how will you achieve this? By using Lightning data service and client side server side controller. Why server side controller? Lightning design system will only save that record. Lightning design system will only save that record. Lightning design system will only update the record. Lightning design system only delete the record. But my choice is not working with the record. Based on this record, I want to write a SQL query and get it. If you are going for a SQL query, you have to go to server side. But if you want to pass the ID of the record which I am taking, I have to go for Lightning data service. Did you get the requirement? Right? So, Darvesh, this is an example for your question. Right, boss? Right. Online, anyone has any other query on these two? Online people, anyone has any query on this? Right.
No, sir.
Hi, Satish. In standard functionality, also we have display in related list. We have contact opportunity, right? Again, for custom means it's.
Now I am trying to customize it. Now I want to give. Let us say I want to create a contact last name. I want to create like this. Then how will you do? Now, when I say display, it's just not only displaying the record. We can add something of your choice. Now, this is not given by standard functionality, right? Standard functionality is giving what? Only list of record. Now, on the record itself, I need to give a panel to edit the record or delete a record. Then how will you do that? Your standard functionality of related list is not coming this way. I told you, if you want to redesign the page according to your view, then I will go for it. If you want to use the same standard functionality, why to create one more component? Are you getting my point? If you are designing a component, whatever the standard functionality is there, that is not according to your requirement. So your requirement is something different than what the Salesforce is giving you. There is a reason you designed a component. What is that requirement? It's your choice. Like I told you now, last name, action, edit, delete. Right, boss? Clear, boss?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, so let us go to the, have you followed the two combinations? Okay, record data with the server side. Okay. Now let us come back to next. Now we are slowly trying to take the combinations. Now my requirement is, look at the point. Here, I want to create a Visual Force page and I want to use this Visual Force page within the record home page. Right now what I have done, we had a record home page in which we designed our own components, added the components to the home page. Okay, in the similar way, I want to design a Visual Force page. I want to add this Visual Force page to the lighting record home page. I have a record home page. On the record home page, what we have done? We are adding the custom components what we created on the home page. Now, what I want to do is, I want to create a Visual Force page. That page I want to add in the lighting home page. So, the VF page what you designed, how to include them in the lightning component. So, that is my requirement. Okay. So, let us, everyone is good with this example. Followed this. Followed, boss. Let us go to the next one. Now, at the same point, what is the advantage of SLDS? If the same data table, that look and feel, if I want to design, I would apply a lot of CSS and all this stuff. So what did I do? Instead of creating your own custom components, I went to SLDS, looked at the one of the existing component. What is that? Data table. Copy pasted the template. I modified my data. So it is helping you to design the things faster because predefined templates are given to you. Okay, fine. Let us come back. So I'll give an example here. Let us say I'm reading an Apex class, public list of and I'm giving invoke subject priority and status. I don't want to get all the cases. I'll just give a limit 5. Basic Apex class which is fetching the data. Basic Apex class which is fetching the data. Visual Force page. Case. We're defining controller equal to then action equal to then I'm creating Apex section header form page page block. I'm giving page block table value equal to what are the list of records? Basic example. A basic, simple Visual Force page. Basic, simple Visual Force page. Where I give cases, invalid field priority. This is a simple Visual Force page we'll see. Right. Now what I'm getting? The same page. Why there is no header? I have not mentioned any show header equal to false or something. Simply I told why you are not getting header? Because I told tab style equal to case. Whatever the style was there for the case, get it. Now this is in the form of Visual Force look and feel. I want to convert this look and feel into lightning. If you want to convert this into the form of lightning, so we need to go for lightning style sheets equal to lightning style sheet equal to true. At the same time, we are supposed to add apex SC. So if the Visual Force has to be lightning page, if the Visual Force has to be a lightning format, now if you want the Visual Force to be in the lightning look and feel, lightning style sheet equal to true, apex SLDS. Run the page again. Now look at this. Previously, what was the previously structure? Now we got this structure, right? Look at the structure, everyone. If I remove this, before I save it, once again cross check the look and feel. Cross check the, are you getting any borders here? Right? No borders. Right, boss? I remove the lighting style, save it back. So look at feel, look at this. You got a headers, the lengths are not given, the darkness, thickness of the data. The same thing I am giving as lighting style sheet. If I modified, so the Visual Force page is coming in the form of the look and feel is coming in the form of lightning, but lightning functionality is not there. The advantage of lightning functionality, the advantage of event driven, it is not there. Simply, look and feel is coming in the exact way of look and feel is coming in the exact way of only look and feel is coming in that way. Only look and feel is coming in that way. Only look and feel is coming in that way. Now, what I want to do, I want to add a VF page. Go to the what you're finding it. Just click on this. Now we are getting a invalid component. Why you are getting invalid component? Go to the lightning. Go to the lightning. Go to the corresponding Visual Force page. Any Visual Force page that you have created. So I'll go back to the page. It was throwing an error message, invalid. The reason is the VF page what you created, the VF page should have go to the VF page what I created. So what is the page? Case example. Go to the case example. This is an option. What is it? Available for lightning. Enable this. Available for lightning. Now go back to the so again we need to come back. So we are going to add it here. Right? Go to the page here. Page is added here. Now, if you want the page to be added somewhere at the bottom, you can do that. Now, the page is also giving, we are getting a width here, width and height. 300, I'm making it as 400. Right, boss? So whatever the VF page we created, the VF page was displayed here. That VF page was displayed here as a component. So how to make the VF page available to the lightning? So first, what you are supposed to do? Apex page, lightning style sheet equal to true. Then apply SLDS. Then go to the Visual Force page, enable available for lightning. Then that component can be created. So I hope you are good with this now. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone. Okay. Now come back to the page. Now let us have a deep understanding about these pages from now. Look at this. Now this is a record home page. What we are discussing is a record home page. When you open any record on the home page, what you want to display. Generally, when you go to the classic, what we get a detailed page of the record. We get a on the top quick actions. At the bottom, detail page of the record. Below that, related list. This the same record home page is there. On the record home page, what is the structure you want to create? So if on the record home page, what are the elements apart from the Salesforce? What the Salesforce has created? Apart from what Salesforce has created, what all other things you can add? Standard components. Standard components. Standard components. Who created these standard components? Who created this? Salesforce. All these are standard components which Salesforce has given. What are they? Accordion, activities, charter feed, publish, company hierarchy, flows, data, highlight panels, list view, path. So all these are what? Standard components. Apart from the standard components, what we can add? Visual force or or custom components. So on the record home page, if you want to customize, there are only three choices that you have. One is if you want to use the standard page, you want to recreate the custom page, it's your choice. Whatever you want, you can use. If you want to customize the standard, if you want to customize the standard record home page, I'm speaking about only home page. Record home page, the options what we have is either include the standard components or visual force components or custom components. Fourth one is also there. In case if any manager package is there, components from the manager package we can add. Only using these four, you are supposed to design your page. The customization of your standard record, standard record home page can be done with standard components or visual force component or a custom component or the components from the managed packages. So standard components you cannot do. That's within the hands of Salesforce. Next, manager package, that also you are not designing. If you are taking the package from some third party people, you are going to use it. Okay, an example. Now header, footer, you was designed like a component. You got a manager package. In the package, header, footer is already given. So what we are doing? Simply you are dragging two components and putting header in a component. So manager package, which is not within your hand, it is also designed by third party. What is within your hands? Creating a component or creating a lighting page. If you want a lighting to be visible, lighting style sheet equal to true and SLDS. But what is the drawback? Lighting functionality you will not get it. Lighting look and feel you will get it. If you are designing a visual force page, it will not give you a lighting functionality. It only give you lighting look and feel. Okay, next one, component. If you want a component to be available for a record home page, we need to implement flexi page available for record home page. Right? You want any functionality to be performed like DML operation like save, update, delete, then I have to give force as recording. Using that, I'll be able to design my custom component. With that, I'm managing my home page. I hope you are good with this. Clear? Okay, right? So this is the functionality for the day. So we have seen